word
My
to
buddy
say.
that had it, man, said it's the worst thing. And you know what sucks? He's looking for a kidney now.
Mm.
He's had it his whole life, and now he's looking for he's trying to get a kidney transplant.
Mm.
Yeah, he's my age. Like, yeah. So to your commercials credit, yeah.
Oh, he's on. Oh, Jesus. Did you see it? That's unfair. The Sidney Curry's Papa Shot's unfair.
Oh, I know.
Did you see the Papa Shot video, Nikki? Did you see the Sidney Curry Papa Shot video? If he would have did two hands, he'd had 260. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's Middays with Marcus Maben. 8150 93.9 is the number. 93.9 is the station. I don't know how hot that microphone is, but something.
I never really know. I'm just happy we're on.
Steve Rummage in the building. Nikki V in the booth.
It's good to be back in the building today. Yesterday, obviously, I had a few things to do, so it's good to be back. I would rather be back in here. We turn me up a little bit. I don't know what. Just right there. Perfect. That's not a Nikki. That's not a Nikki thing. That was just volume in here.
And people, listen, very, very sloppy start. We're getting everything upgraded in the 93.9 studios. It got better. Yeah, like
they're in there doing. Look, your cries have been heard.
Yes,
and they're here putting in some work, man. Well, he learned the game from William Wesley.
You can never check. Hey, Steve, you missed Drake.
I know.
Sounds.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh,
I told you yesterday I don't want to hear it.
It was awesome. The YouTubers got to hear it. It was awesome. Yeah.
Don't want to hear it.
The V Show.
No, it's amazing.
And for him to humanize himself and say, God, that sounds so stupid. I mean, he sounds just like me saying, I hate to hear my voice for the most part.
Like the lips of an angel. The fish smell is your shoes. See, and this is why when we have important meetings, we don't bring Nick. And I wish it wasn't like that. I wish when we get a
Why
call,
do you say that?
When we get a phone call and it's like, hey, you're invited to an important meeting, we could be like, Nick, listen, we got invited to this meeting. We'd like you to come along with us. You know what I'm saying? I can't. Can you imagine walking in there last night and Nick's like, oh, I've got tuna shoes. Okay, it took me a second. BD, it took me a second.
I still got it. Oh, okay.
He just walks in like a Nicky the Hammer.
Yeah, I never heard that before.
Nick, I watched the man put his hand up last night. The whole room went silent. We don't know power. We don't know power.
Oh,
We don't know power.
Nikki. Nikki.
It was humbling. It was very humbling to see. I'm not going to say who, but I'll tell you on the internet. And we're going to talk about it. But like, yeah, I watched the man go.
Wait a minute. I'm just realizing something. Were we the only people that were actually inside the room that have a radio show?
We are. Well, to be fair, there was another that does have a show. That is true. Nick's got us there.
What?
I mean, his name's in the article. I'm not going to call him out.
I don't remember.
Nick, you want to say it? Who are you talking about? Uncle Jerry.
I didn't see him there.
Uncle Jerry wasn't there.
Oh. Is there somebody else that was there?
There was. And he does have a show on 19.
Are you?
But he don't have a show till Monday, so he can't talk about it till Monday. So we get to talk about it today.
Oh.
He hit me again last night. He's doing it on purpose now.
He's just that's his thing now.
I'm buying season tickets.
You know what he did? He hugged me.
Really?
Yes.
He slapped me.
he hugged.
Just slapped me like, get out of the way.
Thanks for hugging me. I didn't know I needed that.
I love that dude, man. Like I tell people all the time, I'm like, to me, and we didn't have to go down this road. And I talked to him the same way. I think Kenny Payne was the right hire. Mm-hmm. I would have 100% if it hadn't been Kenny Payne said you have to go get Scott Davenport. You have to go get Coach Davenport. Like that, and I mean that. Like I really do. Now you know. And I know you can say, "Well, yeah, Steve, it's easy to say now, whatever." Like, but seriously, I do mean that.
Listen.
No, he's an incredible human being. He's an incredible coach. Like,
and been doing it. Been doing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, good call though. Good call.
Sure.
But for the most part, Nikki, you have the honor of holding the exclusive rights to the seance that we were invited to.
The coup.
One of us.
Yeah.
One of.
When we walked in, they were like, "Everybody, pull out your knives." We all took a blood sacrifice. We all dropped it, one drip into the middle.
That was the well. Listen, you had to donate. Had to donate from the knife of life.
And then Tom's face appeared in the bowl of blood as we stood over it, and we said, "Oh, Tom, what would you have us do?"
Oh God!
He gave us direction.
Yeah. More.
So today, like robots, we come on the air.
Mama say. Oh God, people! It was awesome.
So today, I get on the air and I say, "Tom, you're interested in the job because I was at the meeting."
Listen, y'all. This show is literally going to be like a hostage. Yeah. Look, we is okay.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna look at the camera.
They are treating me well.
I love it here.
93.9 listeners, we are being treated very, very well. The food is really good. Nikki has no idea what we're talking about. Patty Ice is disturbing our producer. We're sitting here telling you. Do you okay? And now is the perfect time.
And the credit. Listen, it is all new stuff. I will give the producers this.
I was excited about
all new stuff. Let them do their thing.
Is that the new board on there yet?
No. Let them do their work.
Oh, it's coming. That's the mean. You think Patty Ice would have went to the meeting if somebody invited him?
He would have went. Pat would have went.
He would have 100%.
He would have done the blood sacrifice.
He would have blood sacrifice.
We
Patty Ice
said, "Oh, Tom, speak to us."
I hereby pay tribute. I know. Listen, hey, Patty Ice. You know what's funny about what you said? Steve wouldn't say anything either. Patty Ice, you want to take it a step further? Marcus wouldn't have said anything either. Just shut up and learn and listen. And
I went in with the plan. But there was a lot of power in that room, and I went in and I immediately was like, huh. I turtled.
Can you imagine?
I turtled.
Can you imagine two people worth $50 million just saying, hey, now be quiet. Now let me finish.
There were more than I can hold up on one hand worth over 50 million. That's funny.
Is that what Nick? Oh,
bro.
No.
Bro.
It
was humbling. It was humbling to me. It was like, whoa. It was like, hey, legends that used to play here.
I'm glad Patty Ice acknowledged though.
Yeah.
Everybody would have went.
Yes.
Everybody would have went.
You have to go.
Okay, so Nikki, okay. You can turn that.
All right, we're having fun. I'm not saying
Jeez.
I mean, okay, call. There were media there. You can call them. Don't you have Eric Crawford, Tim Sullivan, our guy Chernoff was there? Yeah, ask them. I'm not. Yeah. Come on. Okay, we're going to talk about the.
You said what? Not inside. Not inside. You know how I opened the show saying Steve and myself were the only. No, we're not media in this situation. We're people who love the university. We were luminaries. We were luminaries in that meeting.
I like that.
We were. Okay. We were.
All right.
Where you want to start, Steve?
Okay. We're having fun.
Or do I start with Jared Stillman?
Jesus, man.
Do I start with Jared
Stillman? Let's start.
Or do I start with the meeting?
Let's start with the meeting. We'll get to that.
Okay, but here's my problem, Steve.
Okay.
Here's my problem with the meeting.
Okay.
Everybody listening right now would have really sacrificed something to be in that room, right? Do you mind if I give a macro of that meeting?
No.
And Nikki and Steve, I want you to, Steve, you can clean it up if you disagree. Nikki, I want you to digest what I'm saying and ask a question if you don't understand something I'm saying, because you are the conduit to the people.
Yeah.
By being the producer of this show.
All right, let's go.
I attended a meeting with, for starters, people who love and care about the university dearly. Is that a fair joint blanket statement for who was in that room, Steve, in your opinion? Steve, is that a fair statement?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do believe that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That meeting was full of people who love and care about the university. Macro blanket statement, right? People that were in that meeting, different levels of influence, different levels of influence financially, support-wise, different levels of, different people with different ideas and directions that the university should go to, varying levels of concern for the University of Louisville. Varying levels. It's another joint blanket statement, right? Oh, yes. Everything you just said. Conversation about the impact on the city. conversation on the process of hiring practices, conversations about university finances and what needs to be done. Okay. Yes, athletic director position was the center point of all this. But everyone who knows anything about Louisville knows that this is a very important part of this university, more so than many other places. This is important. All these aspects of the program were discussed by influential people that care about the program. Okay? I don't care if you are Josh Hurd gung ho. I don't care if you are search firm committee gung ho. I don't care if you're Tom Jurich gung ho. I don't care if you're Kenny Payne gung ho. I don't care if you're Denny Crum. Look, everybody would take the opportunity to be in that room for the discussion of the future and the current state of the university.
And I think you need to say loyalist even to a I go back to the Bobby V. I joke with Bobby V, and I've joked with Bobby V to his face about this, the 2%ers. Like the 2%ers are not the and he believes that too. I like this, something I like to mess with him about. But I think when you talk loyalist all the way around, it's probably about 2% of each faction.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think, unfortunately, like me and Bob talk about, it's usually the loudest people.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. The 2% is the loudest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I just want to make it clear, like when you say a meeting, and something that my eyes were open to last night, and we're going to get into all this, we're going to get into everything. But my eyes were open to last night is that wasn't a room full of people that were walking in with picket Tom signs, It was a lot.
Right.
It was people that were talking more university conversation that I heard absolutely zero disparaging remarks about anybody at the university now. Right.
Thank you for saying that.
And I'm just being completely honest with you. This, and you can say it's a narrative, whatever. Look, I can't change your mind. I'm just going to tell you what I heard at the meeting, and I'll just be completely honest with you, because I'm not afraid to say, like, I have talked to Josh Hurd in a private, personal conversation that was just me and him. He knows how I feel. He knows that, listen, if Josh Hurd ends up, I want to say this just so we can get to, if Josh Hurd ends up being the AD, I have told him, listen, I'll be behind you. If you end up being the AD, I'll be behind you. I've told him that in a private, just me and Josh. It was the only, not even Marcus. It was me and Josh. So I'm just speaking for myself. Right. He also knows I have a relationship with Tom.
Right.
And like, I'm okay with that too. Like, it's not as divisive as I think it's being brought out to be.
Excellent phrasing
in the media.
It's excellent phrasing.
Or when it's being talked about in public.
Listen,
it's not a divisive. But there are 2% that I do believe are divisive.
Yeah, and they get on here and they tag me and they tweet at me, and it's always people who don't use their government nor Christian name, no avatars, and you have emotion towards me. Marcus, are you going to change your name to Marcus Jurich Maben? Because I attended this meeting, is what you, as far as you know.
Sure.
Hey,
it's hateful.
Yeah.
Hateful.
Hey, absolutely. Marcus, you. Oh, jeez. You don't get, Jared. You got yours coming. No.
We need to, because people really do.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it here. I think people are really interested in what was going on.
Yeah. Okay. And
we weren't. Let me say this too. I'm very comfortable talking about it. At no point were we told, hey, because we were, and I'm very appreciative and humbled and honored.
Mm-hmm.
I shook Dr. Lynn's hand last night, and I was like, hey man, it's an honor. Really, it really is. And he was like, man, you get more exciting life. And I'm like, no, listen, bro, like, hey, thank you, but we were not told
Nikki,
not to speak about this, right? Were you ever told not to say? Okay,
no.
Okay,
I wasn't given any instructions. I
Yeah.
wasn't given any agendas or anything like that. Nikki, can you imagine somebody worth $100 million saying, "I can't wait to listen to your show"? Ego.
And Nick, I will say this: we got a lot of compliments on the show last night, and that's part of you, and that's you too. That's you too. Yeah, a lot of compliments in that room. That was like, hey man, we really enjoyed listening.
We were not given any executive commands. You know what I'm saying? We had, and there were different ideas. Some people thought we should go this way. Some people thought this is more important to be addressed. Some people said, okay, we talked about the specialty board, the advisory committee that Lori Gonzalez has, you know what I'm saying? The influence. We talked about all this stuff. Well, Steve and I listened, but
yeah, I didn't do a lot of talking. It's kind of like, hey man. Yeah.
Right. Just know the room. Yeah.
So as a whole, I think, like, as far as
we did discuss the Coach Crum, what was being said, and let me say this. So I don't want any misinterpretations of anything that I say. When that Twilight crap came out, and I say crap because a lady friend of mine was just gone off the Twilight stuff, the Twilight series. And when they started doing that Team Edward and Team, what's the other guy's name? Yeah. When they started doing the Team Jacob and Team Edward, that was like the start of everything was just team something, right? Mm-hmm. See, I didn't hear about that part. Okay, you're right. But you get the point. It was like there became an addiction around that time to just holding the line with a team. And then it became a profession to pick apart the other person's team. It became a life, like a way of life. Listen, I saw people go from liking a little bit about Jacob and liking a little bit about Edward. Oh, he's the nice, oh, he's the bad boy. And when he turns into a werewolf, and now he's the vampire. This was a real thing. And I watched people go to hating each other over team something. Steve, along with our categories of Jared Carter and 11th freshman, I am allowed to agree with what I want and disagree with what I want. I don't have to be Team Tom, Team Rick, Team Denny. I can say that was good about Coach Crum, that not so much. That was good about Rick Pitino, that not so much.
I think you were going somewhere too, and I don't want to lose it, that in that meeting last night, Coach Crum was discussed. Mm-hmm. And pretty much to a man, it was he's allowed to have that opinion. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
he's a legend. Actually, it was thrown around.
Yeah. Let me say it. Let me say it. I don't believe.
Listen to this. It's pathetic you all support Trump or Jurich. Well, not so much Steve. He's a Trumper. And these two situations are very similar.
Is that an example?
That's an example. Of two percenters.
Yeah. And listen, I'm going to force a team onto you so I can rally over.
I just wanted to say it because that's a very, because it's like, so now you're saying,
listen, I'm not challenging anybody's reporting.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not. But unless I heard it from Coach myself on this one, I got the right to say, Coach didn't say that.
Coach says, I'm Team Jacob, in case you care.
That's fun. Listen, I don't believe Coach said that. Mm-hmm. If it was passed along, hey, I don't doubt anybody's validity of the reporting. the Coach Crumb I know,
You must like paying $4.50 for gas.
I don't believe he said that.
Mm-hmm.
Under the lessons I learned under him,
sure.
To me, he wouldn't say that.
I think it would have been I would have been surprised because, like, I heard a call this morning and somebody said, and something I actually agree with. They said, hey, donors, that if you say, if he's not brought back, I'm going to take my money and go home.
Mm-hmm.
That bothered that caller. And I'm like, I actually agree with that, because I think you're supporting a little more of a man than you are the university.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, I would feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
If you said, well, if he's brought back,
mm-hmm.
I'm out.
Right.
And I have a hard time believing that.
Even though I've been as emotional as anybody at points, and sure. Again, this was, agree with that too. This
myself included.
Yeah. Like at some points where I'm saying, okay, and keep in mind too, the reason I justify things like this is when there's a crime committed against the university where an illegal board is formed to oust anybody. I don't care who it is, Steve. The reason I fight for people I disagree with is because you're going to be in a position where I'm going to have my speech challenged. I fight for people's right to say what they have to say, even if I disagree. And I think too many people are not willing to say, okay, you can feel this way, but if I had a mute button, no, I'm not using the mute button for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to let you say what you have to say. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, my point is, when I say things like, I'm concerned about who's running this university, this is still my residual impact from the governor situation, the illegal firing, the government ruled Supreme Court illegal firing. When Vince Tyree got the job, right? I said, this is not a Vince or Tom thing when I'm talking about Tom should be here or Vince should be here. Because I said one day I'm going to have to fight for Vince Tyree. If this thing is successful and they try to, for lack of a better word, undercut Vince Tyree, I'm going to be in the same position. So that's why I say, listen, even if Vince was doing a great job and better than Tom, I said, it still wasn't right.
Yeah.
Period. There was no way I was not going to be in that meeting, and I'm glad of it. But again, Nikki's favorite word, nuance. I'm allowed to have multiple opinions.
Well, that's what I just said. I'm not afraid to say. I mean, I've spoke with Josh personally, and I've told Josh, like, hey, if you're the guy, I don't want you to think I'm not going to be behind you. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, man, if you're the guy, you're the guy. And I think they'll do a search. I hope they would do a search, just like people wanted a search for Kenny Payne. But I also, on the flip side, can say there were points where I was like, Kenny Payne's the guy. Like, so
yeah.
like,
but again, the problem with that is, well, it's not. And never mind. I
think the point is, I think your divisiveness comes from, I know there are people in the media that are upset with people at message boards.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all the fight back and forth.
Yeah, but your point of this wasn't a divisive thing.
No, I didn't get the vibe from in there that anybody in that meeting was, and I'm sure there are a few. Let me be clear. Yeah. I'm sure there are a few. It was not one of those, hey, if Tom's not brought back, we will not support from here on out. It was, I think the best option to move the university forward is this.
Yep.
That's a total different conversation.
And that wasn't direct. It was, what is the best option? I think this is the best option. I think this is what we need to worry about. I think this is what's going to be important moving forward. Which guy is going to be able to help us get there, moving forward. Like all that conversation.
Yeah. And let me also say a couple things. I wish Tom would say something. I've told him that. I wish he would say something. I also understand why he says, I need them to come and talk to me. Sure. Yeah, 1,000%. 1,000%. And listen, and you can believe me or not, I don't care. I've heard it from his own mouth. Like I don't, I don't care. And again, but that's what I'm saying. Selfishly, I wish he would just come out and say he's interested. I do.
You know what the real travesty is to this whole conversation?
I'm listening.
The real travesty is, Nikki, nobody gets to sit down and listen to someone who has done it,
sure,
and can map out an entire. There was a former associate AD in there who spoke, and to listen to mapped out experienced ADs, it's different.
Yeah,
it sounds different. I was debating with Steve, Coach Davenport versus somebody in a different job role, right?
Yeah.
I was debating, and I was telling Steve, I said, Steve, when you listen to a Coach Davenport, right, who has ran a program, right? Nikki, we told you this story. When Coach Davenport talked about the sight line of his recruiting office to when I'm speaking to a recruit, and I can see if he's looking over my right shoulder, he's looking at a championship. If he's looking over my left shoulder, I can see he's interested in this. So Davenport is thinking about the sight line of the recruit, so I can literally read his mind as I'm closing the deal. Above me is this, I can see when you listen to somebody who knows every single detail about how to win at this game. Davenport, like you listen to it, you're like, now when you listen to somebody with a plan, this boom, 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 important, boom, 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 boom. It just sounds different. Listen, if I was Josh Hurd's PR agent, I would say, dude, you need to come, you need to have plans, you need to have it's the U571 reference. You're the cap. You always have to know what it can't be suggestions. It can't be, you have to sound like your consumer confidence is based on a mapped out strategy, Sitting with Tom Jurich, or sitting with Coach Davenport, or sitting with people who've done it for a long time, they know the hurdles before so like I said, there's pros and cons to everybody. But I say to Steve's point, if y'all got the chance to hear more athletic directors and hear more Coach Davenport's, just people I've heard, a full 5-year game plan and watch it happen. Jesus. Coach. Marcus, we're going to get scheduled. We're going to get Duke. We're going to pandemic. We're going to get this. We're going to do this. We're going to move to Freedom Hall. I'm going to get donations from here. I'm going to get a floor done at Freedom Hall. We're going to make Bellarmine, because we have the space distance. We're going to get that done over here. We're going to get this floor done. I'm going to go to this guy and get this done. I got to look, Mark. So here, upgrade. I got my video room. I got to do that. He gave us a game plan, and Steve and I watched it over 26 months get played out. And it happened faster than Coach Davenport expected, but it was a game plan. That stuff is impressive, man. These are just things that, like, to Steve's point, if you heard Tom Jurich talk, you know what I'm saying, you would just say, hey, even if you just picked his brain for what you know about the job, nobody can tell me you wouldn't listen. That doesn't mean you're riding for anybody. You're in a room with people who want the best for the university. You know what I'm saying? And you're determining direction. Or you're, suggesting or filling out direction. So yeah. So in general, it was still awesome, Nikki.
It was fun. Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, like I said. And just the conversation of we'll try to take that call because I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I mean we'll absolutely take calls and stuff.
Yeah. 8150 939 is the number. 3831 93. Is there something you feel like you and I missed on? Because like I said, it's so many aspects.
No, because I don't really want to argue about it.
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
Because I feel like there's so much, and like even reading the text line, and I know Blanket Baker said it this morning on the text line with them. It gets very divisive. And I think that's a big misrepresentation of what's actually going on. Perception is not reality in this. And I think that it's not as divisive. And again, there is a 2% of people that I think it is divisive for. But it's not as a whole. It's not as much Josh or Tom. Pick your side. I saw Tim Sullivan wrote the article this morning. It said, like, battle lines are being drawn. I don't feel that's, maybe it is for a smaller group of people. That's more why I wanted to talk about this morning, is to maybe kind of like let this heated energy go away. I mean, like,
that's why we use words like fun, interesting.
There are actually candidates that, I mean, I've heard Tom say out of his own mouth, he said, look, I will totally support. And if they need any help, they can call me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you heard that too at the same moment. Like, I absolutely love this guy. I have a great relationship with him. If he ends up being hired, he can call me anytime. Yeah, and I'll be glad to help. Like, and again, not the
reminders that people forget about that like the degree completion program that Kenny Payne profited off of. Yeah. This is good conversation, y'all.
I mean, there's no Kenny Payne and Tom Jurich have a great relationship. Like, that's not a weird thing.
Right.
Kenny Payne called Tom Jurich. Like, I mean, that's not a weird thing.
Yeah, there's no big super conspiracy.
And I'm sure Kenny Payne, actually, I've heard Kenny Payne enjoys Josh Hurd. Like, so, okay, cool.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how difficult is that to bring? But when you're addicted to team something, that's fast. They don't believe that Kenny Payne could have good relationships with both.
Yeah.
Kendra, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
Absolutely.
You're perfect. Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Point stands.
Either way, the
Sure.
point works.
Listen, Kendra,
Well
listen,
said.
we
Thanks
appreciate the call. I agree.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah, I think it's well. I mean, maybe there's a thing here or there I would disagree with, but for the most part, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. I will say, I know I keep hearing things like, well, he should just put in an application. I would be interested to see the last big hire made at the University of Louisville that was made out of the applicant pool. Just saying. But I agree with Kendra 100%. I've told him this. I will continue to tell him this. Just please come out. And I understand his reasoning, Marcus, for not.
Yeah, right.
But I'm like, just come out, say something.
Yeah.
Put a video up. Come on our show. I don't care. Do anything.
LOL. Middays with Marcus Maven and Steve Rummage made a whole bit around blocking texters.
That's Harold. Don't stop. He's mad because the guy Harold's mad because we didn't agree with him on a call one time, and then he immediately after that, ever since then, there's some people, and there's people out in the media that do it. Like if we take a stance on something, they're going to take a stance on the other thing. That's fine. Do that. I don't care. I just, like I said, this is just a conversation that I feel like we need to have.
Who we got up next? Who want to take, Nikki? John, thanks for joining us on 93.9. What's on your mind?
Absolutely. Somebody's at the door.
Mm. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
All history. It was a disaster what they did when they terminated Tom Church, PR-wise, a total disaster. And guess what? The people that did that got the results that we have now. Any disagreement there?
It's nuanced. Like we could go into detail about, because somebody will argue, which, and I appreciate the
call, John.
Yeah, somebody will argue the PR side from his angle, or the PR side from the university. So that's a heavier detailed conversation to have. But let me keep on up with the callers that we got up next.
Let's try to get these two in, and let's let Nick catch up because we.
Yeah, we'll go. Got
Greg.
next,
Greg,
yeah.
Greg, what's up, man?
Greg, fire away.
Good morning.
Good
I'll
morning.
tell you what, I'm kind of like you, Marcus. Last night when that report came out from Eric Crawford, two names that popped out to me right away that I wanted to hear from, one of them, and kind of surprised the other one was there, but not so much. And that was you, Marcus, because I knew we'd get your take. And then with the stuff coming out about Denny, I thought that put you in a precarious situation, but I didn't hear that directly from the man himself. So, it's hearsay at this point. But here's where I'm conflicted. I'm kind of like you. I have several different takes. I was a big Tom Jerry supporter, still I am. He was railroaded out of town. We all know it was mostly political. It really wasn't anything he did at the university. You can, debate that. Michael's next. My concerns are, is this just keep the wounds open if he comes back, between the fan base and keep us divided? We need to move forward. The other issue that I have is, can he even duplicate it? Because, Dr. Ramsey was pretty important part of that by letting Tom do his job. He could not have functioned under our previous president, the one that just left. Nobody can.
Right.
Could. So we have to make sure that we get the right fit up there too, or it's a moot point in my opinion. So, I'm really conflicted. And one thing, Steve, that you said, that those money guys in there, the people, the Lins, the Traegers, those guys kind of made me mad because, you said if they don't get their way, they'll leave. Well, they did.
Mm-hmm.
They did under the old first administration. They got mad whenever Vince went in there, and we all knew why that was happening. But they walked with their money at that point, and Vince was not going to survive. He wasn't going to last. Doesn't matter whether they put money there or not. So they did do that. Mm-hmm. They walked away and left us short in cash because they didn't get their way, or because of the political stuff. And I can kind of see how they did that on one hand. On the other hand, it's like, man, I didn't walk away as a fan. My seats were still being paid for.
Sure.
I was still showing up at the and I was still showing up and I don't have the money they have. Trust me. So every penny counts whenever you're making, you're working. So,
absolutely. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I understand. I understand. I understand. Yeah.
So I'm conflicted. I really like to see him. I'd come back, but then on the other hand, part of me says, maybe it's time we take some advice, get a new guy in here, a young guy in here, and direct it and get everybody back together. Because it seems like we're heading that direction finally after all this time. And Josh is the guy. If he comes through the national search as a guy, I'll be fine with that.
Sure.
But we do need to have a national search. I agree with that. Yeah. But I think I'm probably like a lot of people. We're really conflicted. Because I didn't like the way he was kicked out, but that's been a lot of time. And
Jesus fucking Christ, wrap it up. I don't give a shit. Come on. You said the same goddamn thing 10 times.
So anyway, that's about it, guys. I'm just probably like everybody. I don't know which buddy.
Appreciate the call.
Let's go to break. Nick needs to take a few seconds, man.
No, get the last guy. Tell me he has a minute.
Go fire away. You got a minute.
God, I got to go quick. So, hey, the smile guy, Steve. You guys are beautiful human beings. Love to talk to you really quick. I'm not for or against Tom. I think we've now see a path to success and stability. And a lot of times what you need an AD for is, look, what we are here, basketball, football, women's basketball, baseball, women's volleyball. If all of those things are stable and successful, you move forward. The second thing, and probably more important than the first thing is, and you see this in what I do, brother, is probably how Tom treated people, and I'm challenged at times. And a lot of that came out after the fact that he had a ton of success. He took us places that maybe we never saw before in other sports, but yet how you treat people in life comes back. Love you both.
Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate the call.
Michael's a great dude, man. Seriously. What he does with the smile is amazing.
And let me say this, people. I do appreciate the passionate opinions. I have to go prepare to bunker down for the weather that's hitting. So I'm gonna leave this in the super extreme capable hands of Nikki and Steve. Is that just a hard out? Middays with Marcus, maybe don't like that on the bill.
Lanning. Sorry, I've been getting flack for not getting spots in. So my bad, guys.
Coatings for homes and ship our industrial and commercial products across the United States and even across the world. I am Aaron.
No, sorry. I should probably hit the button to talk to you. No, the phone lines were great.